And boys and girls, staff, everyone, we have a very special guest with us in studio this morning, and she will be interviewed by members of the Student Council. So let's now turn it over to the Student Council.
Good morning, BBL. Today we're here with Miss Kate Taylor, a reporter from New York Times. The Student Council will be interviewing her by asking her some questions. My name is Leah Abraham, and I am in the 5th grade.
My name is Bryn Bennett, and I'm in the 5th grade.
I'm Naomi Richards, and I'm in the 3rd grade. I'm Gabrielle Bailey, and I'm in the 3rd grade.
Hi, my name is Destiny Gale, and I am in the 4th grade. I am Madison Barnaby, and I'm in the 5th grade.
I'm Jeffrey Chobet, and I'm in the 5th grade. Okay. Miss Taylor, how long have you been working at the New York Times, and what do you enjoy most about working there?
I've been working there almost 5 years, and I think what I enjoy most is I get to learn about new things all the time, because every time I'm writing a story, it's about something I don't know about to begin with, and then I learn more. So for instance, I get to come to this school and learn about this wonderful morning program that you have, and I'm sure I'm going to learn much more today. And I also like that I get to talk to a lot of people. As a reporter, you have a reason to call up pretty much anybody you want. You know, you have a reason to call up important, powerful business people. You have a reason to ask questions of powerful politicians, all sorts of people. So it gives you an opportunity to meet lots of people.
Miss Taylor, did they give you that question ahead of time?
No,
that was such an excellent answer.
Thank you.
Wow, I am so impressed.
What makes the perfect article?
The first thing that makes a good article is that it has to be surprising to people. If an article only says things that you already know or that you kind of could have predicted before you read it, then it's not very interesting. Why would anybody read that? So a good article has to be surprising, and that could be surprising in a funny way, like, oh, I can't believe I never would have thought this, and then it makes you laugh. Or it could be surprising in a very tragic way, where you learn about somebody who's struggling either in another part of the world or here in New York City in a way that you wouldn't have imagined.
Out of all the articles you wrote about, which one is your favorite?
That is a really tough question. I'll just pick one. I don't know if this is my absolute favorite, but it was sort of one of the more exotic articles I got to write. At the time that Egypt was going through a revolution a few years ago, there had been a very powerful man in Egypt named Zahi Hawass. And he was very powerful because he was the head of the antiquities department, and he got to control who had access to the pyramids and all the ancient sites in Egypt, who got to explore and do archaeological digs there to find old artifacts, and who got to visit there, just to go see it. And he was kind of an international celebrity. He was celebrated by National Geographic, and he would travel around the world and give speeches. And at the time of the revolution, he was very close to the old government. And so there was a lot of criticism of him. And there had also been a lot of looting of these ancient sites during the revolution. And people were very upset about that. Their great museum in Cairo got looted, and all these ancient archaeological sites got looted. So I wrote an article about the problems that he was dealing with and all the criticisms that were coming up, that people were lodging against him. And I didn't get to go to Egypt, which would have been pretty exciting, but it was still pretty interesting to write about something on the other side of the world that was very dramatic.
It must have been a lot of research.
It was a lot of research. I spent probably 1 month or 2.
Wow.
Yeah.
I bet you saw some great pictures too. I'm going to go to Egypt.
Yeah, I would like to go someday.
I think the other student council members have some questions
Oh,
too.
over there. Yes.
What was it like to grow up in Capitol Hill?
Oh, I didn't actually grow up in Capitol Hill. I didn't actually grow up in Capitol Hill, but I'm curious. I grew up in California.
That's close, isn't it?
No! Capitol Hill is in Washington, D.C.
Oh, it's the other Capitol Hill.
Yeah.
The Western Capitol Hill.
There's a Capitol Hill in Seattle, too, I think.
That's what I was talking about. Whoops.
I grew up in California, outside San Francisco, so I have moved a long way. But now I've been in New York for over a decade, so now I feel like a New Yorker.
What inspired you to join the New York Times?
Well, it took me a little while to figure out that I wanted to be a reporter. I didn't always know that I wanted to be a reporter, but about 5 years after I graduated from college, I got a job at a small newspaper in New York, and I realized that I really liked being a reporter because it was kind of hard, because every time you get a story assignment, you have to learn about something totally new, and you have to call people and ask things. And some days, you know, you kind of don't feel like doing that. Some days you kind of just feel like being by yourself and thinking about things. And instead you have to call people and ask them nosy questions that they don't necessarily want to answer. So it's a little bit challenging, but then you find out things that other people didn't know. And so that's very gratifying. So I became a reporter, and then the New York Times is just one of the greatest places you can work as a reporter, because the other reporters are so amazing and the editors are so fantastic and they make your work that much better. So that's why I came to the New York Times.
What are some of the things that you do during your free time?
If you have any.
If I have any. I do have some, thankfully. Sometimes I go to plays. When I was little, I acted a lot, so I still really like to go to the theater. I go running for exercise. I also do yoga for exercise. And I like to cook. I don't get to cook that often during the week, but sometimes on the weekends I like to cook. Okay. Anyone else?
Great hobbies.
Thank you.
Do you have any questions for us?
I do. Let's see. I mean, I don't know if you have a sense of this, but what do you think is different about your school from other schools?
Well, it's green and it's sitting on the back of the sofa right now.
I was asking her.
Oh, sorry. I have to control my impulses, Miss Taylor. I'm
Right.
sorry.
Well, I like this school because we get to switch classes, and usually in the elementary schools that I used to go to, because I came here in the 4th grade, so we didn't get to switch classes. We would stay in one class, and we would do all subjects with one teacher, or there would be some other teachers like the science lab to do some other subjects. So I think the fact that we get to switch classes is really cool.
Great. And what is one of the favorite things you read most recently in your classes? Any of you?
In the 5th grade, we're reading a book called Watson's Go to Birmingham. It's a really good book because it talks about the civil rights movement a little bit, and how it was unfair how African Americans are treated because they bombed a church in the book, and one of the little girls almost got killed. So I really liked the book. It was very interesting.
Is it a book of fiction or nonfiction?
Nonfiction.
Nonfiction.
That means it's true.
Right. Right.
Of course you knew that. Oh, I'm so
Thanks
sorry.
for the help.
It's so embarrassing.
She mostly writes nonfiction.
I try.
No.
Yeah.
You write? Oh, right. A reporter reports the truth. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
I'm a couple of steps behind.
Yes. Yes. Anybody else want to tell me something good they've read recently? Yeah.
In ELA, we've been reading Out of My Mind, and in Science and Social Studies, we've been reading
It's Out of My Mind? And what is that?
It's
My biography.
It's the New York Times bestseller. It's about this girl named Melody who has disabilities, and people don't think that she's smart, but her mom and dad always see it. And finally, she gets a Medi Talk, and she gets to talk to the class. And she's starting to learn, and people think that she's still messed up like the rest of her, but inside she's really smart. And in Science and Social Studies, we're reading a Children of the Longhouse book because we're learning about Native Americans. And it's about this girl. They're twins named Oljajia and Ogwari, and they're telling us what they do as Native Americans. We are doing projects on it.
Wow.
Thank you for coming, Miss Taylor.
Thank you so much for having me.
Excuse me, please. I have a serious question for you.
Okay.
How are you at math?
I'm pretty good at math. You know, at least I was pretty good in school. I have to say I don't use so much math in my daily life. Sometimes I have to use math for articles. Obviously, I have to be able to use fractions and percentages if I'm talking about statistics of stuff that's going on in the city. But my math doesn't get that much more complicated than that.
All right. Well, this might be hard for you, but you said you like challenges. So
Yes.
Here's a word problem. Hint out there. Word problem. Newspaper, guess the operation, and school equals what?
No, newspaper, some operation,
Yes.
and then school
Equals X. I know there's a lot of X's in there, but that's
school
okay.
equals school newspaper?
What's that?
Newspaper plus school equals school newspaper?
Very excellent. Sorry, I can't use very. Excellent guess, but wrong.
But wrong. Okay. Newspaper something school equals what? Can anybody else help me out here?
Newspaper plus school equals learning new things.
Okay, good guess too. Give up?
Yeah.
All right, here we go. New York Times BBL equals welcome to our school.
Oh, thank you.
Here's another one.
Very much.
What time is it?
It's
New York
9:30.
It's New York Times. That's right.
Now let's turn
What a
to
good
your
sport you are, Miss Taylor. Really.